Hi, this is Laura Tucker with Really Entertainment News for TroubledHollywood.com. Princess Protegé is finally opening up about what happened during the emergency landing of his plane. Judith Hill, who was a past contestant on The Voice in Season 4, was on board his private jet with him that fateful night. They were enjoying dinner and he abruptly nodded off. She says thankfully she'd been looking into his face as she then jumped up and alerted the pilot. He received the safe shot when they landed and was awake and talking by the time they got to the hospital. He then realized he was only alive by God's grace and said he remembered hearing everyone's voices and knew he had to follow those voices to come back. He was serious about getting help but downplayed it to his friends. His friends then contacted Howard Kornfeld, whose son got there too late to save him, which is what she says breaks her heart because he was trying. She does not mention the drugs at all, and she also wouldn't comment on a potential romantic relationship between them, but did admit it was very intense, and if she was on his private plane with him. Selma Blair is probably wishing she was on a private plane after her outburst from mixing drugs and alcohol and yelling about being abused. She is now admitting she made a big mistake. Really? You think? She admits she mixed alcohol with medication and says it caused her to black out and say and do things that she deeply regrets. Yet, she doesn't explain what she was saying about the abuse. Is it not true? Is there some man that is out there severely abusing her? Mark Cuban says Donald Trump is becoming stupider before your eyes. Really? I think there might be some people who agree. He also called him out for his business ventures, challenging people to name one good deal he's done. Noting that he talks about his great renegotiations, Cuban says his good deal is, I lose 4 casinos. They go out of business. But I'm really good at renegotiating the debt that the companies that have already gone out of business. He brings up a really good point. His followers say they want his business acumen brought to the country. But do we want the U.S. to go out of business knowing he can just renegotiate with another country? Neil Young's lake legend is apparently true. Now, I had never heard this before, but supposedly Graham Nash was at Young's ranch and Young asked him if he wanted to hear something, which later turned into the Harvest album. Nash thought they'd go into Young's studio. Instead, he told him to get into the rowboat and they went out into the middle of the lake. He had his entire house as the left speaker and the entire barn as the right speaker. Young then yelled back that they needed more barn. No cowbell here, just barn. And now Young is backing it up, saying it was all true. Really?